Hey, bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, bud?
That's the fight that everybody want to see. Yeah. I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so...
Terence Crawford has agreed to Jaron Ennis's challenge to put all of his super middleweight titles on the line. What made the announcement particularly surprising is that Crawford had never previously mentioned the possibility of facing Ennis.
Like I said before, you know, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if, you know, that's the next move for me and my...
In a recent interview while preparing for his next fight, Ennis revealed that he's open to moving up to the super middleweight division if it means getting a shot at Crawford's titles. He even put him in a similar position to Crawford, who moved up from welterweight to super middleweight after a single fight at 150 pounds.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Interestingly, Crawford celebrated his recent victory with a parade in his hometown of Omaha. Later, when asked about Ennis and his challenge, Crawford expressed his openness to the fight. He told Ennis to take the necessary steps if he truly wanted the matchup, adding that he's willing to make it happen at 168 pounds. Eddie Hearn, Ennis's promoter, also confirmed the negotiations, calling it one of the most exciting potential fights in boxing.
You know, without him, you know, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same, you know,
I want and I need. So after I do my thing, you know, Saturday night and be victorious, you know, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out. You know, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headline, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn revealed that Crawford is in discussions to face former unified welterweight champion Jaron Ennis, who is set to make his 154-pound debut against Swiss fighter Mal Limo on October 11th. Hearn described a Crawford versus Ennis matchup as the best possible fight in American boxing. However, Crawford wants a significant payday to capture his full attention, knowing just how talented Ennis is. "I'm not saying Crawford expects to lose," Hearn said, "but he knows this would be a real challenge. For me, Ennis is the new prospect to watch."
Makes a whole lot of sense, and the fight that stylistically would be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis.
Ooh, I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both these guys.
"We just need to get the right fights to show how great he really is," Hearn said. A matchup that makes sense both competitively and stylistically is Terence Crawford versus Jaron Ennis. This is the perfect timing for both fighters. Ennis may not have the same accolades or mass appeal yet, but stylistically and skill-wise, this fight is an incredible test for Crawford.
Roller coaster, but, you know, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, you know, and, you know, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you know, work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the...
During Crawford's post-fight press conference, the potential matchup was discussed. The 5-division champion reiterated that he won't return to junior middleweight, meaning Ennis would need to move up to make the fight happen. Crawford, however, is only interested in bouts that come with a substantial payday, and there are only certain matchups that can deliver that. According to Eddie Hearn, Crawford is a completely different level, a fighter with an exceptionally high boxing IQ. To compete with someone like him, a fighter needs both experience and knowledge. That's why Hearn emphasized how much he's looking forward to the Ennis fight.
Don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said, they called And we said, yeah. We never heard nothing else back about it. So yeah, like,
Right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Ennis was previously a 147-pound IBF mandatory challenger when Crawford moved up to 150 pounds last year to face Israel Madrimov for the WBA title. After that victory, the sanctioning body promoted Crawford from interim to full champion, and he later captured both the ring and WBA belts by stopping Eustace in April while preparing for his fight against Limo. Ennis also served as a skilled sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez during his preparation to face Crawford.
Over Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, you know. They have
no doubt. My other question for you is, you know, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion. So
However, Alvarez's intense training regimen took a toll, and the Mexican star admitted after the fight that his body simply couldn't keep up. Crawford delivered an outstanding performance. One commentator noted, "I feel for Canelo, but I'm thrilled Crawford finally had the platform to showcase just how brilliant he is. His resume is impressive, but he's capable of."
Brooks Park, South Philly.
Yeah.
All right, so you know they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some change.
We often see fighters retire at the top, and that's a great way to go out. But I believe Crawford still has opportunities. He could move up to 160 pounds and capture another world title, potentially becoming a 6-division champion. Alvarez was determined to win, but Crawford wasn't going to make it easy. Over 70,000 fans packed Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and more than 41 million watched the fight on Netflix.
For more days, and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight. If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
Ennis was among the many watching the fight. The 28-year-old from Philadelphia has frequently called out Crawford and has even been compared to a future Hall of Famer. A few weeks before Alvarez wrapped up his training camp, Ennis, a versatile switch hitter, was brought in as a sparring partner. This led some critics to question why Ennis was working with Canelo instead of pursuing a fight with Crawford. Despite what many boxing experts thought, here's Ennis's perspective.
Caliber.
Yeah, why not? You know, why not you be able to share the ring with, you know, with Canelo and, like I said, you know, being there with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and, the face of, kind of like the face of boxing, you know, why not? You know.
When asked about his training camp with Canelo, Ennis explained that it was only his second time training outside Philadelphia. "It was just fun being in the ring with Canelo," he said. He has 67 fights under his belt, so it's incredible to share the ring with someone of his caliber. "I also enjoyed getting away, sparring with him, going fishing, and spending time with my brother. My weight has been going up, and I wanted to try something different. I genuinely enjoyed the experience." When pressed on whether he liked the camp, Ennis added, "Why wouldn't I? Being in the ring with Canelo."
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
he says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight. And I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
And it's going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Enis. And like I said before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
When asked about the reaction to his sparring sessions with Canelo and how it went viral among boxing fans, Ennis said, "I knew it was going to be wild. As soon as we posted the photo, I thought, this is going to spread everywhere. You could say it adds to the drama, and it definitely makes people pay more attention, but honestly, I don't care about that. I went into those first 2 weeks of..."
Not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities and, you know, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him. So.
Tim had said comparison that like he's like a Chrysler 300.
legendary boxing analyst Teddy Atlas expressed concern that involving Jaron Ennis could backfire for Alvarez. Atlas suggested that facing a fighter of Ennis's caliber might leave Canelo drained by the time his September 13th bout came around.
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true, but if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, emulate Crawford or just to be who he is.
What's yours?
My opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Tony. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
Preparations were in full swing on both sides, but the spotlight fell on Alvarez's camp because of his sparring with Jaron Ennis. Canelo's decision to bring Ennis in was simply to train with a top-level fighter and ensure he was ready to face Crawford. Still, not everyone was happy with the strategy.
I would want too many highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that, 34 years.
Never. This is crazy, Chester.
I just didn't want to see
Chester.
I didn't want to see
Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What'd he say, Red?
I said, don't get stuck.
No. What'd he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
I don't want him taking unnecessary risks in the gym, Atlas explained. I don't want him getting into a war with someone who already has 65 fights under their belt. If Canelo sparred, it would only be for a day or two, and only against fighters who are as smart as he is. Atlas expressed concern about Alvarez's age catching up with him. While Crawford is older, Canelo has accumulated more mileage in the ring. Adding rounds with Ennis in sparring only piles on more strain to his body.
Thursday and Friday, when I saw Canelo in the vest, I was like, nah. I was like, no, he's gonna pull it off here. And it was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Yeah, I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong, he's got.
Even with extra preparation, Alvarez had little answer as Crawford dominated all 12 rounds fighting southpaw. While defeating Crawford remains his ultimate goal, Ennis couldn't help but acknowledge Crawford's brilliance. Speaking to YSM Sports Media, Ennis said, "It was an impressive victory, a historic accomplishment. Crawford earned a great win. For a moment, it was amazing to watch as a fan, but now he's focused on his own career." The former unified welterweight champion recently vacated his WBA and WBC titles and is aiming to reclaim championship status at 150 pounds. His debut in the new division will be against Wisdom Lima on October 11th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. A chance to make a statement and capture an additional belt.
Following a once-in-a-lifetime fight.
42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap. I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford making his way to the heartland of America Park.
My opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Tony. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
Fair enough. Last question on the topic: is that a fight? Because people want to know: is that a fight that you still are interested in, or you moved on? You moved on from wanting to fight Crawford. Is this still a fight that you have interest in?
My main focus right now is October 11th. That's all I'm worried about. October 11th. I ain't worried about no outsiders. I like that. That's how.
Terence "Bud" Crawford was celebrated not just on the eve of his 38th birthday, but with a hometown tribute few fighters ever experience. A parade drew an estimated 20,000 fans, turning the streets into a sea of blue and gold, with Crawford at the center atop a semi-truck mounted throne. Amid the cheers and flashing cameras, he later sent a brief, poignant tweet. 6 words that spoke volumes about his roots, city, and accomplishments. which extend far beyond any single fight. Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas earlier this month made headlines, but his homecoming in Omaha elevated his triumph to another level. Thousands of families lined the streets, and the event felt like a coronation for a returning hero. Few boxers in history have been recognized as dominant champions across multiple divisions. Despite the celebration, there was a sense of finality. Now 38, many wondered if the Canelo bout might have been his last. In interviews, Crawford emphasized that the fight wasn't about money, but legacy. Reflecting on his career path, he said, "It's strange. Back when I was with Top Rank, people were saying I'm broke, this and that. I was getting paid well, but I kept thinking I didn't need to box. I could retire. You box because you have to. I box because I love it."
I figured it being so close to the fight too as well. You know, you're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, you know, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank tried to make that fight as well. So I was just curious now, like, what do you think of Teofimo as a fighter?
He's a good fighter, you know, good fighter. That's about it.
People will be talking about Bud Crawford, the kid from Omaha, Nebraska, for generations, Crawford said. 100 years from now, they'll remember how I moved up 2 or 3 divisions and defeated Canelo Alvarez. I'm confident my name will be remembered long after I'm gone. That's what legacy is all about. Crawford's words carry personal weight, and only time will tell if that promise is fully realized. On that day, Omaha seemed to recognize that this wasn't just another victory parade. It was a celebration of identity, memory, and anticipation. His hometown served as a megaphone for his achievements, amplifying every moment of the triumph. It's no secret that Ennis has struggled to make the 147-pound limit, which influenced Crawford's move up to junior middleweight. Honestly, I'm not sure if Ennis will stay at 147, Hearn told reporters, highlighting the challenges of weight management in boxing.
Right, Jaron, just give us your perspective on that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. Like, I just been going to the gym, training, you know, locking in books and things like that, you know, even coloring a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media. I post whatever I post.
Crawford's performance was outstanding. While the medical metrics weren't as remarkable, many believe he'll perform even better at 154 pounds. He had intended to remain at that weight to pursue unification, and he has achieved that goal. It's a tough decision. A matchup with Teofimo Lopez is appealing, and if Crawford stays at 147 pounds, that fight is likely. If he moves up, he'll compete at 154, with Brian Norman fighting in July in Japan and Barrio facing Pacquiao. The unifications at that weight aren't fully lined up yet. Crawford is very unique, Hearn explained. He isn't just motivated by money, though of course it matters, but he's focused on legacy. He's willing to push his body to make 147 pounds, but only for unification. The Teofimo matchup is different, but it's significant, and a decision needs to be made soon. For his fight with Stylistic, Crawford worked with a dietitian to help make weight. On fight night, he looked much larger than Stylistic and controlled the bout with ease. Still, Hearn admitted that cutting weight remained challenging. It wasn't as brutal as the Kurban-Chukagyan fight, he said, but many noticed how tight he appeared at 147. He wasn't dead on the scale, not at all, but consistently making that weight is a huge ask.